My name is Olivia Smith, and I'm 32 years old. I'm a working wife, juggling my job with household chores. My husband James is also employed, and we got married 3 years ago but haven't been able to have children yet. Because of this, we recently visited an OB/GYN, where both of us underwent tests. It turned out that I have a condition making it difficult for me to conceive. Since then, I've been trying to balance work and housework while starting fertility treatments. However, James hasn't been supportive. Hey, isn't dinner ready yet? I'm starving here. It's a failure as a wife not to have dinner ready when your husband gets home. As soon as James comes home from work, he starts complaining. It can't be helped, I just got home from work too. James, don't just leave everything to me, help out with the chores sometimes. Huh? Why should I? I'm the breadwinner here. Besides, chores are a woman's job. Don't try to push them onto me. If you've got time to complain, get dinner made. Stuck in his old ways, James demands that I make dinner. He's always like this. In this day and age, chores should be shared between spouses, you know? If all you're gonna do is watch TV when you get home, the least you could do is help out a little. Oh, forget it. I didn't think you were so incapable of handling chores. If you don't feel like making dinner, I'll just eat out. I won't be back until morning, so just get yourself something. What? You're gonna spend the night at the bar again? It's bad for your health and a waste of money, I've told you to stop. He's always been fond of alcohol and gambling, and used to go out on his days off. But lately, he's started visiting bars even on weekdays after work. Yet, James doesn't listen to a word I say and goes out anyway. The next day, he leaves for work without a word as if nothing happened. I sigh deeply, feeling despair in our marriage. A few days later. On a day off for both of us, James was unusually at home watching TV. He still didn't help with the chores, but for a moment, I felt happy. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, so I rushed to open the door. There stood Gianna Smith, my mother-in-law. Oh, it's you, Gianna, you're here today, too. Well, hello, Olivia. You seem rather troubled to see me. Well, never mind. Saying so, Gianna briskly walked into the house, heading for the living room where James was. James, I came for a visit. Are you doing well? Are you getting your meals properly? Mom? What, you came again today? You don't need to come so often. Oh, both of you with your again today. Don't treat your mother like a nuisance, please. And besides, the last time I came was 3 days ago. I'm just checking in because I'm looking forward to having grandchildren, but it's been so long. Despite her sarcasm, Gianna smiles elegantly. She lives alone in a house not too far from ours. Perhaps because she's so eager for grandchildren, she's been coming over to check on us more frequently. So, when are you going to give me grandchildren, Olivia? Ever since my husband passed away, that's all I've been looking forward to. If this keeps up, you won't be able to have children because of your age. Before you finish your duty as a woman, let me see my grandchild's face soon. Yes, of course. I also want to have a child soon. I'm really trying right now. Then hurry up. I'm getting older, and I don't have much time left, you know? Despite the sarcasm and pressure from my mother-in-law, Gianna, I can't speak up against her. Part of it is because she's my mother-in-law, but also because she used to bully me. At the beginning of our marriage, James suggested we live with Gianna at the Smith family home. But right after we moved in, I started facing harassment from Gianna. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore and convinced James to move out a few months later. I want to see my cute grandchild's face as soon as possible. Don't dilly-dally. You want to have children, right? Why can't you? You're not doing this to spite me, are you? Gianna blames me relentlessly for not being able to have children. The fact is, I haven't told her we're undergoing fertility treatments. I could already see her getting furious. But if I don't tell her, she'll keep visiting our home forever. I decided to take this opportunity to confess to Gianna. Gianna, actually, I'm undergoing fertility treatment. I have a condition that makes it difficult for me to conceive.
What did you say? What did you just say?
Gianna suddenly became furious, as if she turned into a different person.
I never thought you'd be so useless. Unbelievable. Shame on you for being a woman.
I lowered my head in fear as she yelled at me. Then, Gianna turned to James and began to say something outrageous.
James. Find a mistress. A wife who can't show me my grandchild's face is useless.
What? I was shocked and my eyes went wide. But this was just the beginning. James then revealed something even more shocking. Okay. But actually, I already have a mistress. Olivia couldn't have children, and she tried to push the chores onto me. So, I got a mistress a few months ago.
What?
I was stunned by James' bold confession.
Wait a minute. You cheated on me for that reason. While I was working hard on treatment and juggling work and chores. Unbelievable. Good for you. Divorce Olivia right now and marry your mistress. I'm so proud of my excellent son. Finally, I'll get to see my grandchild's face. That's the plan. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mom. So, Olivia. Divorce me. No. Why should I divorce you for such an unreasonable reason? James. Cheating on me, that's terrible. You betrayed me. Stop whining. Just sign the divorce papers now. I've had them prepared for a while. Sign here.
He went to his room, came back with the divorce papers, and thrust them in front of me. Of course, I refused, but James restrained me. Gianna forced a pen into my right hand and made me sign the divorce papers against my will.
There, that's done. Now, James just has to sign, and the divorce will be final.
All right, let's go to the city hall. We'll sign there and submit it right away. Olivia, this is goodbye. It was short, but well, it wasn't too bad. I'll submit this, and you better have packed your bags and left by the time I get back. Saying this, James and Gianna happily left the house with the divorce papers. I was in shock and couldn't move for a while. But since they told me to leave the house, I started packing my things first. Afterwards, despite feeling angry and sad, I decided to accept the divorce. I quietly left the house before James could return. About 5 years later, I had fully recovered and was enjoying my life. Today, I decided to visit a newly opened shopping mall to do some shopping in the afternoon. Standing in a corner of the large store, 2 people suddenly appeared in front of me. They were the last people I thought I'd ever see again. Olivia. Is that you, Olivia? Wow, it's been a long time. Oh, isn't that Olivia? Long time no see. You look surprisingly well. Still leading a sad life without children? The people were my ex-husband James and his mother, Gianna. Long time no see. I'm glad you're doing well. As for me, I'm enjoying a happy life. James seems pretty miserable though. Anything happen? No, it's just nothing. He's just a bit tired. More importantly, it seems like you're enjoying your single life. It's really tragic that you can't experience the joy of being a woman. Good for you for seeming happy. She continued to look down on me unabashed. You know, we left things on bad terms, do you remember? I'm surprised you can just come up and talk to me like this. Well, yes. But we intended to part on good terms, didn't we? Seems like you're the only one holding on to any bitterness. Tough for you. We've been living peacefully without a care in the world. Right, James? Yeah, sure. James didn't seem convinced. Olivia, you're still single, right? Good to see you're not looking haggard. You must be happy, but I guess it's lonely without me suddenly gone. If you ever need anything, feel free to get in touch, okay? What? Why are you saying this all of a sudden? James, what are you talking about? You don't need to worry about her. Just leave this useless woman alone. You can't have kids, can't get married, it's a bit pitiful, really. I felt odd hearing James being kind after so long. Though his attitude intrigued me, it was no longer my concern. Could you, maybe go somewhere else? I'm waiting for someone, and they should be here any minute. That's when I wanted to leave the situation behind.
Mommy.
Olivia. Sorry to keep you waiting. I made sure to buy everything we forgot. A girl and a man were running towards me from behind, calling out to me. James and Gianna were stunned, unable to grasp the situation. Olivia, who are these people? Friends or something? That girl just called you mom, didn't she? Wait, surely not. Yes, this is my new husband, Luca, and our 4-year-old daughter. After divorcing James, I quickly remarried and had her. Isn't she adorable?
What? A new husband and daughter? What's going on here?
James and Gianna were shocked and started panicking. Actually, after the divorce, I married my coworker Luca.
Olivia, you said you were single. I can't believe you remarried. Why did you lie?
I never said I was single. Maybe that's just something you misunderstood on your own.
I can't believe it. You were supposed to be infertile. I get it, they must be adopted or stepchildren, right? That's the only explanation.
Actually, I just have a condition that makes it hard to conceive, and she's neither a stepchild nor adopted. After you forced me into that divorce, I became emotionally weak. I went back to my parents' house, took time off work, and shut myself in for a while. But then, one day, Luca came to my parents' house. He looked after me until I recovered. Luca visited my parents' house whenever he had time while I was recovering, offering me encouragement. Thanks to him, I quickly got better and regained my spirits. He then confessed to me that he wanted me to be in a relationship with him on the premise of marriage. It turns out he had liked me for a while. Moved by his earnest support, I started to feel the same way and accepted his proposal. A few months later, we got married, and, fortunately, we were blessed with a daughter that year. By the way, we had our daughter before we got married. It was so easy to get pregnant, it was like we had no idea we were going through fertility treatments. I wonder if she really didn't want James to be her father? I knew Olivia had difficulties conceiving, but I was so happy we could welcome a new family member so soon. Luca and I shared a shy laugh together. Perhaps unable to stand our happiness, James showed his true colors.
That's unbelievable. There must be some mistake. You couldn't have children at all when you were married to me. There's no way you could get pregnant so soon after remarrying. And before getting married, that timing is too perfect. That daughter must be mine, right? You must have been pregnant before we divorced. It has to be true. Is that true? She does look a bit like James. Why did you hide it? If you were pregnant, I would have never let you divorce him.
Suddenly faced with their absurd claims, I was taken aback. Please don't jump to conclusions. And stop bringing up the past in front of Luca. Our daughter is undoubtedly Luca's and mine. Why are you so desperate? James hung his head and began to explain. Actually, after we divorced, I tried to remarry my mistress right away. But she was only with me for my money. Once she found out I was nearly broke from gambling, she disappeared. Without a partner and pressured by my mother who desperately wants grandchildren. I've been searching for someone. But I haven't found anyone. He said that even after his mistress ran away, he tried hard to find someone else. It seems his liking for gambling and alcohol made it difficult for him to maintain any relationships. As he got older and less attractive, James started to panic. He even tried marriage consulting services and flirting on his mother's advice. But he's just not appealing. Despite having a good face, it's strange, right? Despite all our efforts, it's ineffective, they all run away quickly. We came to the mall today to try flirting. Flirting. This is a place for all sorts of people to shop, right? I can't imagine coming here to scope out women. I looked at James and Gianna with a cold gaze. But Gianna acted as if it was perfectly normal. It can't be helped, can it? Since he can't find a partner. We just want to see grandchildren soon, didn't think it would be this hard. Maybe forcing James and Olivia to divorce was a mistake. Olivia, you still loved me, even with all my faults. I realized that only after our divorce. I'm sorry for kicking you out just because we couldn't have children. I truly am sorry. James expressed regret for letting me go and seemed genuinely remorseful. Hearing his apology felt like vindication for the humiliation I endured 5 years ago. However, Gianna hadn't learned her lesson. But it's good we came to the mall today. Because we ran into Olivia, who once loved James. If she can have children, there's still a chance. Olivia, leave your new husband and remarry James. Then, have a child with him.
Yeah, that's right. It's easier than finding someone new. Olivia, you still love me more than him, right? Let's start over. And have a child. That way, my mom will stop nagging me. It's been really tough.
I was speechless at James and Gianna's suggestion. What are you thinking? Of course, the answer is no. I'm in love with Luca now, and I haven't forgiven you for your actions. There's zero chance, but even if by some miracle I were to divorce, I would never get back together with James.
What are you talking about? Meeting again in the same place like this must be fate. The fact that my ex-wife was here where I was trying to flirt means we must remarry. It would actually be rude not to. Such a chance is rare. You should go back to James, whom you once loved, rather than your new husband. Finally, I'll be able to meet my grandchild. Let's go to the city hall right now and start the paperwork. Come on, Olivia, quickly. Wait, stop. Don't push this further. I'm not going to the city hall. Let go.
James and Gianna once again pushed their agenda selfishly. And as they tried to drag me to the city hall by force. It was clear they were driven not by love, but by their desire for children. Remembering the humiliation I suffered in the past, anger surged within me, and I trembled. And so, I decided to execute a plan for revenge against them. After seeing James and Gianna's attitudes, I've made up my mind. I've been reluctant because I really didn't want to see you again, but soon, I'll be asking for compensation through a lawyer. What? Huh? James and Gianna were shocked. Compensation? For what? Don't tell me, it's about the affair? What's going on all of a sudden? You can't just demand compensation without any evidence. Don't scare an old woman like that. You found out about James's affair right before you divorced, didn't you? You shouldn't have any evidence.
No, I've been keeping evidence of the affair safe. I didn't say anything, but I had my suspicions about James's infidelity for a while. I intentionally kept silent, waiting for the right moment to confront him. And that moment is now. By the way, I also have evidence of your harassment, Gianna.
What? How did you get such evidence? Actually, I had been suspicious of James's infidelity while we were undergoing fertility treatments. James had been sneaking out not just for work or gambling. At that time, by chance, I had a day off from work, so I followed him. As a result, I witnessed James on a date, looking cozy with a woman who seemed to be his mistress. I continued to follow them and captured photos and videos. These pieces of evidence are still safely stored in my room.
By the way, Gianna, I obtained evidence of your harassment every time you visited our home. I installed security cameras inside the house and kept the data. Your nasty comments and harassment are all recorded. If I submit these pieces of evidence to a lawyer, they can start the claim right away. No, stop that. We're already running low on savings because of James's attempts at finding a partner, and on top of that, James has been spending all his money on gambling and alcohol. Mom's been pressuring me to remarry, adding to my stress. The divorce was her idea in the first place. It's not my fault. Please, just forget about the compensation claim.
Gianna and James tried to use tears to stop the claim, but I didn't relent. After what you put me through, and now you're telling me to divorce my current husband? There's a limit to selfishness. You've completely disregarded my feelings. I have no intention of getting back with James, and I will demand compensation. This is what you get for letting me go. Just accept it gracefully.
Wait. Let's talk this out. We admit we were wrong about this. We're sorry. We're offering you a chance to remarry James as an apology. Let's reconcile and start over.
I've met many women, but none compare to Olivia. I still love you. I'm even willing to accept that 4-year-old daughter of yours. So, let's get back together, okay? Ignoring my opinion, they kept pressing for a reconciliation. Just as James was about to grab my arm, Luca, who had been watching the situation, finally intervened. Listening to you guys, what's going on here? What do you think you're doing to my wife? I've heard about the past from Olivia, but this is beyond what I imagined. Luca pulled my arm away from James and glared at him sharply. James flinched but retorted defiantly.
What? Don't get in the way. We're desperate here. My mom's getting older, and I want to show her her grandchild. Don't meddle in our family matters.
What is filial piety in forcing your ex-wife, whom you abandoned, to get back together with you? You are simply being coerced by your mother. Even if you still love Olivia, I won't allow it.
What are you doing, interfering with our love life? That's so rude. Just back off.
That should be our line. You're the ones being unreasonable. And just so you remember, this is a public place. It's bad for our daughter to see such immature behavior, so could you please stop? Hearing this, James and Gianna came to their senses and looked around. Being in a shopping mall, various people were watching us. Naturally, my daughter was also watching them, scared, and I quickly hugged her to comfort her. If we continue like this, it could lead to police involvement, you know? I can call them right now if you'd like. I glared at them as I issued the warning. James and Gianna's faces turned pale, and they started to panic.
Wait, hold on. Don't be hasty. If we get arrested, we can't pay any compensation. My life would be over, and you'd only be harming yourself.
That's not true. If we leave it to a lawyer, they'll handle it. Plus, if it means the end of your life, I couldn't be happier. Olivia, don't say such terrible things.
What's wrong with you? Planning to abandon James? And trying to squeeze money out of him? I never thought you could be so cruel.
If anything, I was the one abandoned. And it's not like I'm trying to squeeze money out of him. As we were arguing, security guards, alerted by the commotion, came over. What's going on here? Oh, sorry, could you detain this family here? They've been persistently bothering us. These people are stalking my wife. Please arrest them. We pointed at James and Gianna. They began to panic but then started making outrageous claims.
No, you've got it all wrong. We just came to get my wife back. My beloved wife was kidnapped by this unknown man, and we came to rescue her. If you're going to arrest anyone, it should be him. That girl is my granddaughter. She was kidnapped along with my son's wife. Security guard, please do something about it.
Huh? Oh. Confused by their claims, the security guard questioned. Please don't worry. I haven't been kidnapped. Well, these people are my ex-husband and ex-mother-in-law. They're trying to force a reconciliation. If it's difficult for you to decide, we can call the police and explain the situation. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. I see you're dealing with a complicated situation. We'll contact the police for you. Saying that, the security guard reached for his radio. At this, James and Gianna immediately began to panic.
This is bad. If they call the police, we'll be in trouble. We have to run. I don't want to get caught up in this mess. Wait, James! Don't leave me behind!
James and Gianna quickly left the scene. Their pathetic exit made both Luca and me laugh quietly. Finally getting my revenge on them, I felt a great sense of relief. Later, as I had promised, I submitted the evidence to a lawyer. I filed for compensation against both James and Gianna. According to the lawyer I hired, at first, they refused to pay, claiming they couldn't afford it. However, they ultimately accepted the claim and later paid me the compensation. But one day, it seems the news of James's affair had somehow spread throughout his workplace. Furthermore, the story of him pressuring me for reconciliation at the mall became known among his coworkers. Quickly, his misconduct became public knowledge, and the story reached the company president. James was called in by the president and reportedly received a severe reprimand. To prevent tarnishing the company's image, he was fired. Losing his job, James went back to his parents' house to report to Gianna. She was furious and scolded James before reluctantly starting to work part-time. Despite working steadily, perhaps due to her age, she often fell ill. Yet, she continued to work hard to pay off the debt. James also attempted to find new employment while working part-time. But it was challenging due to his age. During this time, his penchant for gambling didn't seem to have changed. Whenever he has free time, he seems to squander money, and his debt is only increasing. Eventually, Gianna strictly forbade James from gambling. With his hobby restricted and having given up on finding a new job, James reluctantly juggled multiple part-time jobs. Currently, they are slowly repaying their debt. As for me, I'm living a happy life with Luca and our daughter. Since we received the compensation, we have financial security and peace of mind. Although things didn't work out with Gianna, Luca's parents have been different. We get along very well, and recently, we had a barbecue party at their house. If Gianna hadn't been obsessed with having a grandchild, we might have been able to get along in a similar manner. But James and everything associated with him are just part of my past now. From now on, I've decided to completely forget the past and cherish my current family.